welcome to the Crow Show. I'm here today to talk to you what's going on in our schools around California, and let's get right to it. In San Diego right now, they have on their website, as part of the FAQ for educators and families, that means LGBTQT executive curriculum necessary because of homophobia, heterosexualism, transphobia, and just a whole plethora. But they have all these different gender types that a student can identify themselves with, and without notification of the parents. And I think that is a vital importance to parents to know what's going on in their schools. So when you talk to your child, make sure it's very thorough. And as they get older, I would start doing a lapel pin video along with glasses that record to catch these radical teachers not following the curriculum, but indoctrinating children. So let's go to the next shot here. But this is in San Diego Unified. And they talk about the district with equity, belonging, website promotes programs. It includes 28 sexual orientations and 9 gender identities, commits to dismantling the system of oppression. America's racist and evil and unfair. Revisionist history, if that English is too white, math is too whiteness, white privilege. What's happened in our district, or at least the ones in California, they are radicalized in the universities. The postmodernist hippie guys from the 60s are teaching, and they believe in communism and socialism. They work. They don't. Go to Venezuela and you'll find out what a disaster it is there. Or China. Try to have free speech like this in China. No, you'd end up in a prison. So let's go back here. But this is on their website here. And if you go down to the next one, let's see here. Now, oh shoot, misspelling here. They're not interested in improvement, only power. You can see watered down, subsidized tests or standardized tests. The goal is power and control the narrative, suppress speech, revisionist history, slander, lie. It just misrepresent the truth, indoctrinate children to radicalism, communism, and socialism. Teach children to dismantle the system. And that comes back to America is racist and evil. I had teachers meetings where they told me that Culver City Unified or Culver Police Department was racist and unfair. And now they're kissing their ass going, oh, we love you now. But some of the woke teachers there are Antifa members. And it's kind of disheartening when I was teaching there to hear how they hate police. And the one thing good, I did speak out on it, but it caused a tremendous risk to me because I was threatened with, you could lose your job. And here it is here. We have a picture of it here, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was involved in numerous murders, communism. They celebrated October 7th murders of the people in Israel. And here is another one, George Floyd. That was really promoted when Leslie Lockhart was teaching at Culver City Unified. And George Floyd was pretty much a hero. He was a great father and everything else. But, okay, George Floyd's criminal record, 6 burglaries, 3 car thefts, multiple illegal trespassing, cocaine possession, alcohol addiction, 2 violent home invasions, dealing fentanyl and meth, assault and battery on 4 different occasions. Really? The police there, he was first stopped by black officers, and then later the white officers came in. That position that they were in with the knee is legal. At that time, that's what the training was. The video, I've never saw the video. I'll give you a link to it maybe further down here. Shows Floyd in both arrests. Floyd's been arrested a couple of times for dealing drugs, but what he does in the car he takes the first arrest that he did. They caught him on video. He was reaching into the glove box or the in the middle there and grabbing pills and putting it in his mouth and swallowing fentanyl. Well, that damaged his internal organs. He was as fragile as could be. You can't swallow. I don't even know how he survived it, truthfully, when on the first arrest. But after that, it destroyed his internal organs, and it does make it difficult to breathe. So on the second arrest, he did the same thing. And in the video on the cam, I saw to where his mouth was open. He had a fentanyl pill in his mouth as he was getting out of the car before, Chauvin put the knee on his neck, and then he died. But just FYI, a lot of interesting things that were never reported by the news. And here's another thing that I will never see at Culver City Unified, worried about the children that were kidnapped by Hamas. I never saw that. They're very pro-Palestinian. And you know what? That's fine. You can be whatever you want in America, but not in public schools. And here's some of the radical teachers. This is Jackie Madrid, the district director. If you speak out, you're a racist. So if you say, hey, I think parents should be in control of what their children watch and learn, and I don't want my kid to be sexually groomed to be a girl if he's a boy, or it's up to the parents, not the school, and to keep it secret, which San Diego Unified does. Culver City, I've never seen that, but I don't know. I did have a friend of mine who's a teacher in Culver City Unified who had an 8-year-old boy who was told by his parents that he's a girl, and he believes that. He always would line up in the girls' line. Well, my friend, who was a sub at that time, said, hey, we need to separate the boys and the girls. And he got in trouble because that boy lined up in the girls' line because he thought he was a girl, right? Well, they never told the sub in the notes that, you can't put him like that. And no one warned him about it, but he got reprimanded for it. So it's just how it goes. You're either homophobe, xenophobe, racist, Hitler, Nazi, misinformed. But what they do, it's called labeling. I call it communist tribalism. Mao did it. Hitler did it. Pol Pot. They label you, and they say that, and then they dehumanize you and lower your opinion. So that's why the labeling is used. But if you identify it, it's a very strong defense against being attacked, saying, oh, you're a racist for this or that. And so, no, I just want the truth. Like George Floyd, I would like to know all the facts instead of the lies that the media pronounced and showed a little portion of the video. And they showed it over and over, and it created riots and everything else. A lot of people died. It's like Black Lives Matter is still supported by the school district in Culver City Unified. And they're involved in numerous murders, extortion. The money, 70 to 75% of Black Lives Matter money that they extorted from companies went right to Patrisse Cullors' houses. All these Black Lives Matter people got super rich. It's sort of like the NGOs that help the homeless in California. We spent like $28 billion in 5 years, and where'd the money go? Well, it went right into the pockets of the NGOs, and it goes right back to people like Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. That's how it works here. It's very corrupt. They don't track where the money is. If you look at during COVID, the unemployment, the EDD, billions of dollars was stolen. And incompetent fools like Newsom allowed people from North Korea to collect money in the United States to fund their missile program. It's just unbelievable. The high-speed rail, $100 billion. Not one piece of track was laid down, but a lot of people made money, and they put a lot of money back to Gavin Newsom. Same thing with the homeless here in California. Tons of homeless. Communists and socialists love homelessness because it destroys capitalism. They are anti-capitalist. They want, it's easier to rule in ashes. So the goal when Biden was in power was to have people flood into the country, overwhelm it economically, and have a one-party rule And then it's easier to control the masses when the whole economy and government is at ashes. That's how communists do it. They try to create chaos, like the riots, setting things on fire, destroying statues, destroying history, revisionist history, lying, everything is evil. But that's what they do. So anyway, let's go back here. Here's one, Angela Davis. Angela Davis is on a mural at one of the elementary schools in Culver City. I believe that's El Marino. But she was involved in numerous murders. Her guns were used to murder a police officer and civilians inside a courtroom. They never prosecuted it. She's up there teaching in, I believe it's in Santa Cruz. She's a professor up there, but an avowed communist. And why would you not put Martin Luther King or say someone like maybe Supreme Court Justice Thomas? That would be a great role model. But this, no, it is not. Also, student artwork. When they say that they love the police, it's like right now they had pictures on the website. Oh, we love Culver City PD. Well, take a look. This is artwork done by students that an art teacher promoted. Bombs dropping on police cars and police violence. Teachers unions, they give information and emails to teachers. Implicit bias, like microaggressions. If you speak out, if you're a teacher that says, hey, I don't agree with this, well, you're racist, homophobe, xenophobe, Hitler, Nazi, whatever. And also the division. If you notice that they have these clubs, but the clubs are segregated. There's a black club, there's a Hispanic club, there's an Asian club, there's no white club until some white kid gets beat up, and then there will be a white club like the trench coat mafia. But you have to have inclusion, and that's what they don't teach. They don't want to teach it. They want segregation. They want that. Here's one after Black Lives Matter. If you notice up here, they have Black Lives Matter. This is the thing that they have for the school district right here. And if you go down here, there's Angela Davis. Let's see. There's the bombs. This is what was posted on Black Lives Matter website. I stand with Palestine right after the murders. This is right afterwards, where children were beheaded in front of their parents. And this school district supports that. And Hamas, why would you support that? You need to stay out of all of it if you're educators. You need to teach the basics, and you're not teaching them. You water down those test scores, and you go, "Hey, look at this! We got good test scores." No, you watered it down, and that's a big problem that I see in California. So let's go back here. Here's another one here. Black Lives Matter. Cannon he murdered David Dorn. And never discussed. I brought it up at a teachers meeting. You could have heard a pin drop. They had a district-wide meeting about Black Lives Matter and the importance of it. And I said, well, you're involved with communism. And boy, they were pissed that I even brought it up. Here's Patrisse Cullors, owns 7 houses. And a small amount went to the schools. Mostly to herself. A typical communist, they take all the money and spend it on themselves. So I had to, and here's another one here. I went through my own attack to where they tried to fire me. I was told by Diane Fanning and Chris Cole that I wore a Confederate shirt in a COVID class when everybody was doing video. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, they're upset that I said that Black Lives Matter is a communist group and they use violence, murder. They killed an 8-year-old Sequoia Turner. And I brought that up. And so, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's what I remember Diane Fanning telling me that. But I had to do this. I had to go through all my pictures of the shirts that I wore, videos. and prove them wrong. They never apologized to me. I didn't expect them to. I didn't realize they hate me like that. But I'm glad that I won and set them straight. It's just that I put in years or decades into teaching and adaptive PE and also being truthful and honest. And to do that to somebody who's like backstabbing, it's something that I'll never forget. But at the same time, it wasn't unexpected, because I try to work with everybody in the district, but that was really low down. And here it is. If you look at this part here, this article here was on the Culver City uniform Culver City Unified School District about customs enforcement activity in Los Angeles area late last night and the weekend. CCUSD will not allow ICE agents to enter on campus. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you know me very well. I would go down to Mexico and I would watch what was going on with the cartels, which is extremely dangerous. I don't recommend anyone in their sane mind to do what I just did. But I witnessed fake families, people being beaten to death. I've seen bridges where human body parts, including children, were chopped up and threatened the migrants coming across the bridge to make sure they pay their cartel bill. When I was out in Jacumba, 70 miles east of San Diego, because the cartels like that area, it's easier to control. So when they fight other cartels, they had an advantage. Everybody had a wristband on their wrists, and so you had to go over and you had to pay your cartel bill. And they would do that by once you get into California, you get $1,200 a month, and the cartels wanted that. So the migrants that came over with the sicarios, because the sicarios would be in the fake family too. They would be the uncle or the dad, and the mother and the child would have to do either sex slavery or labor slavery in the United States. And that's why we have 540,000 plus migrant children missing. And God bless ICE for following that. But with Culver City blocking ICE, there's no way for ICE to find the fake families. And they aren't skilled in those areas. They're actually protecting them, I feel, for the ADA, for the money. Instead of, maybe you need to let ICE in there. That's a law enforcement agency. But no surprise, because they are anti-police, they're anti-ICE, and they're anti-prisons and jails. It's like everything that fits, I guess, like AOC. The AOC, Communist Socialist, wants that. No police, let society be crazy. Mental patients need to be able to wander about. Homeless should be able to defecate and pee anywhere they want. And we see that with our leaders, with Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. But just to be aware of it. And then down here, let's see. It does come back to what the schools are doing with indoctrination and brainwashing, whether it's over sex, history, what is being taught. Because when I look at students with their writing and their spelling, and they're on social media criticizing me because I'm, oh, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist. They can't write. They can't spell. When I start doing facts and figures, they're not able to calculate things in their head and figure out percentages. So it's almost like it's indoctrination and skipping the basics. They're too white. Math is too white. Chemistry is too white. It needs to be full inclusion. And that means not only just full inclusion of academics, full inclusion in clubs. There shouldn't be, just because your skin color is one color or your culture is, it should be all inclusive. It should be an American club. There should be an American club where everybody fits in, and not by skin color, not by culture, not by language. Everything should be American, but it's not, and they don't want that. So just letting you know, the grooming of children sexually in elementary school is happening at Culver City Unified, and parents need to be aware of what the hell are they doing. And you have to also check out the books, what they're reading, because some of them are like hardcore porn. I'm not kidding. So you have to be aware of what is going on there. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, oh yeah. This is from a school psychologist that we can't even restrain a child if it's a danger to others. If it's in the behavior plan, remember to fill out the behavior emergency. This is from a school psychologist. I had to restrain a kid that was punching. He lifted up one of my instructional aides like this, grabbed her by the neck. He's 200 and probably 70 pounds, and she's about 100 pounds. He grabbed her by the neck, lifted her up, and slammed her on the ground, and started to make a fist. And he was going to punch her. He got on top of her and started to punch her face. And I grabbed him, and then he came up and tried to attack me. I restrained him, and then the next day I was in trouble because they said, you can't restrain. Even if the child is a threat to himself or others, you cannot restrain whatsoever. I wish I was joking. I wish this was a joke. It wasn't. I got an email from a school psychologist stating the district's policy. So, all those weird fights that happened a couple of years ago when they were teaching tribalism and, all these different clubs and, white privilege and critical race theory. Well, they had MMA fights, and they hired people not by merit, by what they look like, and they had no skills on how to diffuse things. And the national news came on with Culver City Unified. So just FYI, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I hope everybody has a great holiday and, enjoy life, but also be informed. Don't think that people that are talking to you are telling you the truth. Do your research, find out the truth, because they will lie right to your face. So you need to be aware of that. All right, take care.